Hello guys, and today is my birthday, and out of all the presents that an ordinary Ukrainian may want is definitely the defeat of Russia and the humiliation of Putin, and we are definitely close to this moment, especially as the Ukrainian special military operation to the Kursk region continues, and now we control, guys, 74 settlements on the Russian side, something no one could imagine was possible at the very start of the Russian invasion. But now war has returned back home where it belongs. Of course, we don't want Russian territories to become a part of Ukraine. All we want is our 1991 borders. But I do get a lot of questions. What is the main purpose? What are the objectives of the Kursk operation? And I feel I need to answer this question in the video. Moreover, all of them demonstrate the attitudes of the Ukrainian people and how humane we actually are. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That is the best birthday present for me. And of course, like and share these videos because the world needs to know more about the liberation of Russian regions by the Ukrainian armed forces. So, according to General Syrsky and the President of Ukraine, and satellite images and the analysis of intelligence services of many countries, we now control 74 of settlements in Russia. This is huge, and this is in just a week. You know, there is a popular meme now in Ukraine where Zelensky is shouting at the Ukrainian soldiers, "I've asked you to take back Crimea, not Kremlin." Well, 2 more regions left and we can actually reach the heart of the evil empire. I don't think that's the plan, but why have we decided to start this operation? Well, many of you know that Ukraine is not allowed to strike back. This is a problem. I hope sometime soon our allies will change their opinion, but right now we don't have this possibility, and thus Russians using their frontline regions are able to shell Ukraine as many times as they want. For example, Sumy region, which is the one that borders with Kursk region of Russia, during this summer was hit from the Russian side 2,000 times, guys, 2,000 times. That we used 255 guided bombs, and they are evil because they are dropped on the Russian side and then they can travel to Ukraine according to the trajectory that was set, and also more than 100 of missiles in one Ukrainian region of Sumy. So, Ukrainian soldiers who are not permitted to strike Russia back using long-range missiles that we actually have decided we have to cross the border and create a buffering zone, but on the Russian side. And this is a genius decision because it demonstrates that Russia was totally unprepared to protect itself. For decades, they were using this fake rhetorics of the Cold War, inherited Soviet Union propaganda, and many started to believe. One of the reasons why I actually think many of you believed Russian lies is that your countries, your political leaders, even if lying, they never lie to that extent. And in Russia, everything is literally fake. And now Putin is looking for guilty people. He does not accept his responsibility, and they literally do not know what to do with these territories that day after day, more and more come under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces, and this is beautiful. So, first of all, the start of this operation was to protect the Ukrainian region of Sumy and more frontline regions, to prevent Russia from hitting us with guided bombs and missiles, and of course to create a buffering zone, spoiling Russia's logistics, because once again they back up their army from these regions actually too. So right now we control 74 settlements, and honestly I feel this is more than we expected at the very start, but good that the president and the General Syrsky state more surprises to come. Good for Ukraine and bad for Russia. Subscribe to see more of Russia liberated and finally the Kremlin defeated. This will definitely be a happy day that I will celebrate more than my birthday. So at this moment, in some parts of Kursk region, the Ukrainian armed forces start to dig in because we don't plan to give these territories until we exchange them for Ukraine territories. And in others, they continue to advance. There are rumors about the nuclear power plant. We'll see what happens in the days to come. But another very important achievement is that since today, or maybe yesterday, Russian army started to take away Russian troops from Zaporizhia and Kherson regions in Ukraine and to move them to Russia, where they belong. So another major task of Kursk operation of the Ukrainian armed forces is actually to divert Russian troops from Ukraine to Russia. And it seems to be happening, which is very important because lots of those soldiers, Kadyrov army that were supposed to protect the border failed. And now we have hundreds, if not thousands, of prisoners of war actually captured on the Russian side that we will exchange later. So another reason is to create this great exchange potential, which means both territories that we can exchange for Ukrainian territories and prisoners of war, Russian criminals for Ukrainian heroes. At this moment, the evacuation of the population is really chaotic in Kursk region, but they have a bad idea. They want to evacuate the population of Kursk region that is now at war, because Putin invited this war to Russia, but they want to evacuate them to Zaporizhia in Ukraine, which is another example how Ukraine was Russified back in the Soviet times. First, for example, they created artificial famine, Holodomor, and then they brought thousands of Ukrainians of Russians to the former Ukrainian villages where Ukrainians simply died out. We should not allow this to happen, and moreover, this also demonstrates that Russia does not care about its own population. They don't have a plan what to do. And if you'd ask me, what is the most important achievement of this operation, I think it's the demonstration of the weakness of Putin, of Russian population, of Russian army, the fact that they are totally unprepared to defend themselves. They were used to show off this like masculine macho style, bully style image, and other countries, healthy countries that are not used to this kind of lies, they believed, well, maybe that's true, maybe Russia is that strong. No, guys, it is all rotten, it is all rusty, it is all shaky, it can collapse any moment, and this will happen. And not because Ukraine defends itself, but because Putin shouldn't have started this war. And I feel that now more and more allies of Ukraine in the North America, in Europe, believe in us, and this humiliation of Putin is extremely, extremely important. And no, we are not afraid of that it will result in new missile strikes or something, because Russia strikes Ukraine whether we invade Kursk region or not. This is what it does for 10 years or in the full scale for 2.5 years. So anyway, their plan is to destroy all of the Ukraine and kill all of our people. But this way we have a chance, and this chance is really great because Russia is extremely, extremely weak, and I hope more and more partners will support Ukraine now when they see this weakness exposed. And I also hope that more and more of evil authoritarian regimes that now support Russia will stop doing so, because in the world of predators, they often treat a weak partner, and Russia is definitely weak, and that's beautiful. Like and share to persuade more people to see objectively at what is happening right now in Russia. Putin desperately looks for people responsible. He's not ready to give any answers to the people's questions and reactions. This is a typical Russian attitude to pretend that everything is fine, but this never brings success, and this is never a signal of strength. And this population continues to repeat, Putin, please save us, but this does not work. And in Ukraine, we rely on ourselves and we actually help the president. It's not the president who helps us, and I'm proud of this fact. Same as I am proud that we will start a new NAFO campaign to support the Ukrainian army with drones. I will leave the link below this video, but tomorrow I will tell you more about the unit, real lords that protect Ukrainian skies with angry birds. I will introduce you to them more, and I think that's the best way to mark the best day of an ordinary Ukrainian with ordinary Ukrainian drones. That can be very important for more of the Russian regions liberated. It looks like Russia will need to mobilize people, and mobilization, drafting is always a complex process that, yes, we have started successfully right now, taking into account some of the mistakes, adapting to the Ukrainian realities, listening to people. Now drafting in Ukraine goes well. And in Russia, it may turn into a serious disaster. They realize they don't have enough people to protect the borders. Maybe we will enter some more regions. I'm praying for that. And if Putin starts real mobilization, this may lead to serious protests inside, chaos or something. Not against war, but against problems, against mobilization and other stuff inside Russia. But what is also important not to forget, Putin is a criminal, Russia is a mafia state, and people around him, these criminals, other criminals, may actually feel dissatisfied with him and at a certain moment decide to change him. Let me know, what do you think about this idea? Is substitution of Putin is possible? Also, we decided to create a new t-shirt in my merch shop to celebrate the birthday, but I did not want to make it very oriented on me, but I've decided to focus on our relations in the community, what I value so much. And it says, I have a friend in Ukraine. And I hope that you feel that I'm your friend in Ukraine and you are my friends in different corners of the world. And you know that this 2.5 years, it is actually the third best day. Yeah, the third best day in the times of war. Something I could not imagine. I don't have my parents anymore with me, and this makes a birthday always sad because I think about them. But I'm very grateful that I have our big communities, our friendship, our love, that you love my country, that you want to know more about me and my people. This is a true blessing, and I cannot put in words how grateful I am. And I would like to invite you for a birthday stream this Saturday at 9 p.m. Kyiv. Let me know if you're available, and I will be happy to celebrate this birthday in really challenging, difficult times, but definitely in the best company possible. You know, I love you. Slava Ukraini! Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, but most importantly, thank you for being my friends and family. Love you very much. Slava Ukraini!